Hello, I hope you and your family are well today. What are we going to do today? Just make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so today we're going to look at application forms. Last week we were looking at finding a job and searching for work, perhaps in newspapers or online or going to the job centre. Can you remember in the last video? And reading and understanding job adverts. Okay, the next step will be when you find a job, filling in an application form. So, first of all, today you're going to focus on reading and understanding language used in application forms. Read and complete an application form. So it's going to involve some writing today too. And if you look at the picture here, can you guess what this job is? Yes, that's correct. It's a chef. And this picture shows an application form. Okay, so we're going to read and write some information first of all. So you will need a paper and pencil. And you will need to fill in this box or write these words on your piece of paper, and then next to them, the answers. Okay, so let's have a look and see if we can read what this lady is saying. So first of all, if we look at the picture, she is indeed a lady. Where do you think she's from? We'll find out soon where she's from. She says, "Hello, my name is Mrs. Hawa Hassan." Now, if we look at the box here, we can see some words. These words you will find on a form. First word is title. This is talking about if somebody is married or single or perhaps divorced. It's the title of the person. And then these words, first name. And then the next word, surname. So I would like you to read again this information and see if you can fill in this part of the form with the information about this lady. So pause the video now and write down the answers on your paper. Okay, let's check. So for the title, her title is Mrs. And Mrs. indicates that she is married. And her first name, Hawa. And her surname, Hassan. How did you do? Okay, so the next information, if you look at the picture, you can see a picture of a house. And so I think we can guess what she's going to talk about. She says, I live at 16 Lee Road, Eltham, London, SE9 6PT. So what do you think this word here is, beginning with A? Address. Can you write her address on your piece of paper? Pause, and then we will check. How did you do? So her address is number 16. This is her door number. Lee Road. This is the name of her road or street. Eltham. This is the town that she lives in. London. This is the city. SE9 6PT is her postcode. Okay, let's have a look at the pictures again. So read and write information. And here we have a picture of a phone, telephone. So I think you know what this information is going to be. She says, my telephone number is 020-8678-3245. So this is what is required on the form, a telephone number. It might be that you don't have a home phone number, but you have a mobile phone number. You might have a mobile phone number that you can put down instead. That's fine. So pause the video now and write down your answer. And let's check. You should have written for her telephone number 020-8678-3245. Okay, so can you guess what this picture is? It's a calendar. Perhaps you have one in your kitchen or in your house somewhere. And it has months of the year and dates, important dates that you want to remember. Can you read which month is this? Beginning with N. No. November. And the date that is circled is number 5. So this is a special date. Can you think of what it might be? Let's find out. So Howard says, my date of birth is the 5th of November 1983. So this is her birthday. But as you can see, this date is earlier. This is when she was a baby and she was born. I am 36 years old. So here, what do you think this says on the form? Date of birth. Write that down for Hawa. And this word, beginning with A, is another word you will find on forms, age. So see if you can write down the information about Hawa on this part of the form. Use your paper and pencil and pause the video now. How did you do? That's right, you could have had numbers. Probably on a form it would be numbers that you would use. 05, this is the 5th, the day that she was born. The month was 11, which is November, the 11th month of the year, and the year 1983. So your date of birth will be the day that you were born, the month that you were born, and the year that you were born. And her age, yes, that's correct. It's how old is she? How old is she? She is 36. Okay, now we've got that picture that we had at the beginning, the start. So What do you think her job was before? Yes, chef. So, Hawa says, I was a chef in Somalia from 2011 to 2013. I worked in Lido restaurant in Mogadishu. I cooked meals. Look at those dates. Is that now? No, the year now is 2020. So this is before. Yes, this is before. A few years ago now, 2011 and to 2013. So if we have a look at this part of the form, so when you fill in an application form, as well as your personal details like name and address, you also need to put your employment from before, your past employment. And the information that the employer will be interested in is the dates that you worked, the organisation, so the company name, your position, what was your job, and the things that you did, the duties, the things that you did in that job. So pause the slide now and write down on paper what you think is correct for Hawa. If you read again slowly, the answers are here. The dates that she worked, the company or organisation that she worked for, that's your employer's name, the name of the company, the position, and the duties, the things that she had to do. Pause now. How did you do? So for the dates, you've got 2011 to 2013. A couple of years, 2 years she worked. And where? Where did she work? Lido Restaurant, Mogadishu, Somalia. So that's the name of the restaurant, the city, and the country that she worked in. And her position? She was a chef. And the duties, what does she have to do? She cooked meals. Do you know this word meals? Can you think of any meals that you eat? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Do you recognize this picture? Perhaps you've got one of these. Let's read what she says. I've got a cooking certificate. This is a certificate. When you have passed something, maybe driving, you get a certificate or you get a license. When you're learning English, at the end of the year, you get a certificate to say what you've achieved, what you've passed. She has a cooking certificate. And this word beginning with Q, which is a long word, qualifications, is talking about certificates that you have, perhaps from college or school or university. So write down here the qualification that Hawa has. And that is a cooking certificate. She says, have a look at the picture again. Is this a picture of a chef? No, this is a picture of a A teacher. So why have we got teacher? She says, my reference is from my teacher in college, Sarah Smith. When you apply for a new job, you have to give information about a person who can talk about your character and say that you are a good person to employ, you are on time, you work hard, all of those things. We call these a reference. You are asked for a reference from another person to say that you are a good person to take a new job. So here you have to give the details of the name of this person. And here we have the details. Sarah Smith, Green Lane College, Charlton, London, SE7 8NN. That's her address and the telephone number of her teacher too, Sarah Smith. So you will need to write on the application form somebody, perhaps your teacher from college or your employer from before, your old job. Ask them to give you a reference for your new job and write the details of their name, address and phone number on the application form. Okay, now it's your turn to do some writing on your paper. And this is going to be information about you. Let's read the words. So, title, what's your title? So think about marriage. It could be Mr., Miss, or Mrs. Write down what's appropriate for you. First name, what's your first name? Surname, what's your surname? What's your address and your telephone number? So pause the video now and write those details about you. And I'd like you to write some more information about your date of birth. When is your birthday? When were you born? Don't forget the day, the month, and the year that you were born. And this word, your age. How old are you? Write that down on paper. Qualifications. Do you have any certificates from school or college? Write them down. And here we have employment. This is about you. Do you remember from before the dates that you worked, the years, the name of the organization or company that you worked for? What was your position? Were you a cleaner, a chef, a teacher? What was your position? And what did you do in your job? You can look at the duties video that I put before on YouTube. That might help you with some duties for other jobs. See if you can write down what you did in your job. Well, I hope that was helpful for you. That is the end of the lesson. Goodbye.